Hello, welcome to Wandering Heart Knits. Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa. Welcome to my little part of the internet where I talk to you about what I'm knitting. That's really it. What I'm knitting and anything related to my knitting. I'm Lisa, if I didn't say that already, and I'm coming to you from the northwest coast of Canada on Vancouver Island in a little town where the mountains and the sea kind of surround us. You can see one of my dogs, her back end is there, funny. I'm just seeing if they're gonna bark, because if they are, I'll have to stop talking. They're watching out the window. They're very good little guard dogs. I live here in a little town on Vancouver Island with my husband, our 2 teenage daughters, our 2 giant dogs, and a cat. And this is my podcast. Podcast? I don't know. Is it a podcast? I thought podcasts were audio, but everyone else calls their knitting podcasts. It's not a vlog because it's not like a day-to-day, like day in the life thing. So I don't really know. I'm calling it a podcast. This is my video sharing the things I have been working on, and all knitting related. I've got a cup of mostly decaf tea, or coffee I mean, in my egg-sided mug. It is Sunday, January 31st, 2021. I cannot believe January is over. This month flew by. Wow. It's been 2 weeks since my last podcast. I started a new job, which I talked about in the last video, that and I did a lot of extra work this month. So last weekend I was working all weekend and I just did not have a chance to record. I really hadn't done a lot last week anyway, like the week prior, so there wouldn't have been much to show you. And so I'm here today. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy that you decided to spend some of your day hanging out with me. And if you are back, you have watched my other episodes, oh, I'm so thankful for you. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for the comments. I'm really loving all of the interaction we're having, all the pattern suggestions. You guys are just amazing. It's so fun to come here and share with you. Oh, I forgot to say this is episode number 4. And yeah, again, drinking some mostly decaf. I add a little bit of caffeinated coffee. So grab a drink, your beverage of choice, and maybe you're knitting or you're crafting, and let's chat. I will start with what I'm wearing. I know that lots of you probably recognize this. I shared this in my first video when I went over kind of my 2020, all the things I made in 2020. This is my Felix cardigan by Amy Christophers. I made this was one of the first things I made for myself, maybe the second, and I actually did it in the round. I just adapted it. I thought I'm gonna try it, so I took the cardigan pattern and adapted it in the round, and then I steeked it so that I could have it open. I made little tiny button loops. They're like, ooh, my dog's just knocked my, whoops. I used a crochet hook and kind of did these little like single chain button loops. I don't know if you can really see very well, but anyway, and some vintage buttons, vintage looking buttons. Oh, there's a dog out there. It's the dog named Cooper. I think my dogs might be settled now. Are you gonna settle? Yeah, there we go. I don't know where I was. Talking about my Felix cardigan. I just love this cardigan. I love the little detail. It's made out of Barocco vintage in a colorway called Fondant, which is really cool. It's a really, the light, I'm sitting in a new location. Obviously, I don't have my bookcase full of yarn behind me. We got this new couch. It's super cozy. Also really good light here. The other area didn't have such good light today because it's overcast and dreary. But the light is kind of blowing out the color. So that's a more accurate picture of the color, more of a pink than this white. It looks too white here. That's not the real color. So that's what I'm wearing. I love this sweater. It's, you know, if I were to do it again, I would make the sleeves longer. I like long sleeves. I like being able to bunch them up. But this is a good length too. You know, it doesn't get in the way. That is the only modification I think I would make. The length is really good on me. It hits just below kind of my hip bone. I really like it. So that's what I'm wearing. Okay, I don't have any finished objects this week because I'm working on 3 bigger projects that, you know, are just going to take time, and that's okay. So I'll start with one you've seen a couple times now, my Flax, Flax light. Whoops. There we go. So I've made a little bit of progress. It's, you know, I've done a few inches below the sleeves, the underarms. I'm really loving it. This yarn is just gorgeous. The yarn is Leo and Roxy Purple Haze, which is the multicolored one. Oops, I have something stuck on here. Ah, okay. It's this one. Again, yeah, the colors aren't great over here, actually. That's a bit better. It doesn't really have green undertones like it showed there. And the purple that I'm adding in is by Knit Picks. It's their Muse sock yarn in the color Poetic. So I'm using this for kind of random stripes and the collar, and it will be on the cuffs, and depending on how much yarn I have of the Leo and Roxy, I might end up doing like part of the sleeve down in that, and I think that would look really nice. I'm really enjoying this. It is really slow going. I'm knitting it on 3.5 millimeter needles. These are Knitter's Pride Nova. They're metal. I really like them. They are super, super smooth. I think my next like bigger purchase might be metal interchangeable needles. If you have any suggestions on your favorite, I'd love to hear your favorite interchangeable needle suggestions below. Tell me, what do you use? Because normally, like, I started out and my local yarn shop had are these Knit Picks? Yeah, Knit Picks interchangeables, and I like these well enough. They're good. I never have issues with where they screw together, the joins. I never ever have issues with them. The only thing I noticed once I started knitting with metal needles is that these don't glide. The fabric, the yarn doesn't glide as nicely off of these as they do on the metal. And I think maybe as a beginner, that's really good so you don't lose your stitches. But now that I can knit faster, I'd like the ability to, you know, knit faster. I'm gonna go let my dogs out. I really need a doggy door. Yeah, so that is my Flax light that I've been working on for a little while. And then I've been working on my daughter Emma. Been working on her. This is actually Cozy Classic Raglan sweater by Jessie May Designs. And I'm going to turn this into a Mrs. Weasley's jumper by doing duplicate stitch the letter E on it when I'm done. So I did give myself a deadline for this, and it is March 6th, which is her 16th birthday. So this will absolutely be done by then. This is being done in Cloudborne 100% DK Highland wool. It's so good. It's like squishy and it's nice. It's a little bit airy, so it won't be too warm, but it's warm because it's wool. It's not really itchy. My other daughter has a sweater in it, so if she can wear it, I'm sure Emma can wear this no problem. So that's coming along. This one is on 4.5 millimeter needles in the Knitter's Pride Nova as well. So it's coming along. It's getting there. And then last week I talked about how I got Cloudborne, I got these Cloudborne mini sets. So here's one of the colors. I've got a couple here. And I ended up doing the math and I had about 1,700 yards altogether. So last week I was talking about how I was going to do like hold it double, 2 light blue and then do 1 light blue, 1 dark blue marled, and then 2 dark blue, and then keep doing that until I had gone through all 5 colors. So I started that, and I started it on, I think 4 millimeter needles, and I got part way. Like I had done most of the yoke even. Like most of the top, the raglan shaping. I was kind of making it up as I go. I'm not using a pattern. And I realized then, I kept looking at my yarn thinking, I don't have very much left and I am not very far. Then I realized that yes, my math was right. I had almost 1,800 yards of this yarn, but which is more than enough for a sweater for me. But I forgot that I was holding it double. So then I actually only, when I did the math, I had about 875-ish yards, which probably wouldn't be enough to make a sweater that I would comfortably wear. So I ripped it out. And then I was not really sure what I was gonna do. I was humming and hawing and I thought I could order more, but I really didn't want to order more of it. Like I just wanted to use what I had. So I thought I will try doing it with white, marling it with white. And I noticed on that 4 millimeter needles that the fabric was very dense and it didn't feel quite right. That's a fingering weight yarn, so holding it double, even on a 4 millimeter needle, you know, it wasn't the fabric I was looking for. So yesterday I started again. Wait till you see this. I'm just going to set it up here so that it's really beautiful when I lift it up and show you. Again, this is a pattern that I am making up off the top of my head. I'll show you in a second. So I decided to marl each color. I'm using a white, and I believe this is a DK. This does not have, oh, the light makes everything blow right out. It's a Barocco vintage yarn. So it is a wool blend mixed with the Cloudborne merino. It's 75-25. I might be wrong. It might be 80-20. Either way, it's a merino nylon blend. And these are fingering weight minis. So here it is. Oh, okay. So I put it on earlier, just before I started filming, and I am so excited about this sweater. When I was knitting it, I wasn't 100% sure I was gonna love it. There you can see all the marlings. So there's the light blue, dark blue, kind of a dusty pink, darker burgundy kind of pink, and then the gray. Those are the 5 colors. So I wasn't 100% sure, and then I put it on and turned and looked in the mirror, and I literally was like, oh, it's so beautiful. So for my raglan increases, I did yarn overs. So I would stop 2 stitches before the marker that I placed, and I did yarn over, knit 1, slip marker, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over. And I did that on alternating rows. I did add short rows so that the back is lifted. It's about 1 inch. It worked out to be just over 1 inch of short rows. So yeah, I just started this yesterday. I'm knitting it on 6mm needles. Let me just double check that. Yeah, 6mm needles. And I forgot. So I've been working on this fingering weight Flax light for so long. Oops, I caught a crochet hook. That I forgot. You know, that's a slow knitting sweater. It's not going to work up quickly. I forgot how quickly you can make a sweater on big needles. So I think with this being, I don't know all of this stuff because I just kind of knit. I don't know. I just knit because I like it. I make things that I like. I use yarn that I love, and that's about it. I'm pretty sure this is DK. So a DK and a fingering weight, I don't really know what that makes. Is that worsted? I'm not sure. If you know, tell me below. But what I do know is that it makes a beautiful, squishy, cozy yarn or like fabric that I am like madly in love with. So I feel like nothing else is getting done now until, oh, I got a fuzzy. Nothing else is getting done until this gets done. Oh, it's so gorgeous. The colors don't look as lovely on the camera. I think like kind of over there you can see them a bit better. Oh, anyway, this will be done probably the next time I podcast next week. Because it's just so, it's knitting up so fast. It's so lovely. And I just want to wear it. I thought it would be a house sweater. I wasn't convinced I'd love the marling, and then I put it on and I was just blown away. So now I'm starting another blue row, and I'm just gonna keep alternating until I have pretty much used up all the yarn. I'll probably, to be safe, you know, go a little bit and then pick up for my sleeves and do my sleeves, because I'd rather have a cropped sweater with the right length sleeves than a long sweater and cropped sleeves. That's just my preference. It's a really small neck, so it fits like nice and snug but not choking because I made short rows. And yeah, I'm just kind of making this up as I go. I've passed all the parts that really I needed to think about. The neckline, I used 4mm needles and I cast on only 65. And then I increased to 100 before I started my raglan shaping. So yeah, anyways, that's what I've been working on the last day and a half. I'm gonna get more of it done once I'm done filming. Let me take some coffee. Okay, I know it's like bad form to do this, but I really want to show you guys what my dogs are doing right now. So I'm just gonna pick up my whole tripod and show you. Oh, you got a good view of my living room. Hopefully you can see them. If not, I'll edit that all out. Hopefully you could see them. They sleep, we got these huge beanbag chairs from Costco last year, and they use them as a giant dog bed, and they almost always sleep together on it. It's so cute. If that didn't work, I'll put in a photo of them doing that because it's adorable. I had one yarn acquisition this past week, which I'm really, really excited about. I ordered this I think in December, towards the end of December, and it is Nora George yarns. It's the Christmas at Hogwarts mini collection. What? I am in love with this one. It's like got pinks and purples and teals, and that was nice of him. Someone parked right in front of my house, and then my dogs go crazy, so it was like a pole inspection vehicle. I don't know. They're inspecting, I'm guessing, like the power lines. Our power lines are above the ground here because it doesn't freeze that much. So I guess they can be. Is that why? I don't actually know why they're above the ground. Everywhere else I've ever lived, they've been below, but here they're above. So maybe he's inspecting the pole. I don't know. Anyway, he saw that my dogs were freaking out, so he backed up. So now they can't see him and they will not bark. Back to my acquisition. I really love this one, and they do have names. Oh, from left to right. So that one is called Christmas at Grimwald Place. And then Christmas at the Burrow. Oh, so lovely. Harry and Ron's Jumpers. Fun. The Yule Ball with some like bright yellows and greens. And then Christmas at Hogwarts. So I'm really in love with these colors. I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do with them. I did just get, I got the Nora George. I don't know why I always want to call her Jones. Is there a musician called Nora Jones? I think that might be why. Anyway, Nora George has a shawl scarf wrap pattern called The Secret Garden, and it's a bunch of different, there's like 4 different patterns you kind of put together, and it looks really beautiful. And I was thinking that might be nice as a scarf, although I don't really wear scarves. So I don't know. I'm loving these right now. I'll do something with them. I'm not sure what yet, but I love them. They're beautiful. So that was my yarn acquisition this week. On other exciting news, I finally ordered a yarn swift. I have been rolling all of my yarn, all of it, 400 and something yards by hand. So I used to put it over my knees and just kind of go around and around, and it took forever. Then I saw a hack where you use coat hangers and you kind of tie them together, and they make this like triangle. It's not really a triangle, pyramid shape. And you put the hook of the coat hangers in a mug, so it doesn't spin, but then your skein kind of goes on that. And it works in a pinch, but I'm rolling too many balls of yarn now for that to be a practical way to do it. So I really, really wanted an Amish yarn swift. I'm super excited. So I ordered one from, I want to say Stanwood. I'm gonna put the name of the place where I actually bought it from. I ordered it online and it should be here this week. So that's gonna make winding yarn so much easier. I really love having yarn balls as opposed to center pull. That's my preference. I think I've showed this before, that I just have this lovely hand turned yellow cedar yarn bowl that was made just for me by a good friend of mine. It smells so good. And so I like to use this. I like when it pulls really nicely from a yarn ball. It's just my preference. So I will still kind of hand do it, right? I'm still gonna hand wrap it. But I'll have the yarn swift, so it will go smoother, hopefully. So I will keep you posted on that. So that's really all I wanted to show you this week. Again, nothing finished, but that's okay. I was thinking about it the other day because people talk about being a process knitter versus a project knitter. And I think I'm both. I love the process of knitting things. I really love the creativity and picking the yarn and all of that process. I also absolutely love the products. I love being able to wear something that I made. I love being able to give something to someone that I made. My dogs are silly today. I like to give people things that I've made. I just think there's something really special about making something with your hands. Tell me in the comments, are you a process knitter or a product knitter, or both, like me? What do you prefer? The birds are coming out. There's lots of them. We don't get really a very strong winter here on Vancouver Island. I believe that we live in or very near a temperate rainforest. I don't know if the whole island is considered that. It rains here a lot. It was raining today. It's very foggy up on the mountains. Yeah, so it's very wet and foggy here a lot of the time. So the birds are here most of the year, but I can hear them. My back door's open because my dogs like to go in and out, and then I don't have to get up 800 times. Makes my house chilly though, because it's not hot here in the summer, or in the winter, I mean. It's only probably 5 degrees right now, Celsius, but it's also not cold. I've lived in Ontario and Alberta. It's not cold here. Yeah, so that was what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that this podcast has found you healthy and well, and I hope you had a relaxing weekend and that you got to do things that you love to do. And I'll see you next time. Oh, I forgot. You can find me on Instagram as Wild Heart Knits, and on Ravelry as not Wild Heart. Who am I? Not wild, wandering. Did I say wild at the beginning of the video? Now I'm gonna have to go make sure. I mean, I always watch it and edit, but I gotta double check that. You can find me on Instagram as Wandering Heart Knits, and on Ravelry as My Wandering Heart. I'd love to be friends on there and see what you're doing, and yeah, get to know you and your knitting or your craft, your area of love, passion, expertise, whatever you want to call it. And don't forget to subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. Hit the like button, all the things that we're supposed to tell you to do. But you already know that if you're gonna subscribe, you're gonna subscribe. I'm rambling. I'm gonna go now. Have a wonderful week. Hope you get lots of time to knit and do all the things you love to do. And if you stay just after this, when it ends, I'm gonna show you some nature, photos and video of me out with my dogs. Have a wonderful day. See you later.